Hello guys, this is DAJ Studios and welcome to my review of Sherlock. Now, this is episode 3 of Sherlock, the last episode, and I must admit, the entire world had massive expectations for this episode. And it's far from perfect, but it didn't let me down, I suppose. So I have a small list of stuff, well, compared to last week I do. So, I've talked about it, it's good, but it has problems in it, such as his sister's called Euros. Why? His sister sounds like a villain in James Bond. His sister somehow was able to escape, get into the clothes, and somehow be able to hide away with Toby Jones's character last episode and be with him without him realising that that's not his daughter. And I don't know if he even has a daughter, but that's not his daughter. Yeah, I just thought that's a bit weird. Right, well, her plan. Let's talk about her plan first as one thing. So her plan is to basically get Sherlock and to make him play his game, to basically torment him until he goes a bit mental, to be honest. What exactly was her plan? I don't know. Was it just to get out and just torment her because she's mental? Or just to get out? Or just to kill people because she can? Or for some reason... Like, if someone's taken as being clever, they're just taking as mental. Like, she's been taken straight off mental because of, well, reasons that we understand, but she's been just taken mentally, and she's just been taken as a terrible person that never actually gets its development that it needs. Like, why is she so bad? Is she just born bad? Can't you do something with that, you know? Give it a backstory or something like that. I did think that the plane metaphor was very clever, though. The fact that she is above everyone else in intelligence, but she wants to be like everyone else, but she doesn't know how to land and get down to there. I also thought that Moriarty, that plotline, was the biggest annoyance I could ever think of. Now, what would have been even annoying if right at the end there's another Moriarty tease at the end, but they didn't, so I was happy. But what they couldn't have done was bring back a character from the dead. The only way that they could have done that is by making him go back in the past. I understand that. I understand why. But that's just giving him a reason, the actor, giving him a reason to come back into Sherlock so they can say he's in the series when he's not really in it. He was in it, the Miss Me thing, and, you know, all of that stuff at the end of Series 3 with the Miss Me and the CDs with Miss Me on, and all that kind of stuff. I know that was Mary, but all of that has to be done by someone. You know, that couldn't have been done. Well, the stupidest point that I think is probably the worst thing about this episode. 5 minutes is all it took to build this pretty ridiculous plan that just involves absolute coincidence and stupidity from other characters to actually do the stupid thing. So, for example, the bit with the men hanging from the... Not hanging, but they're tied up and they're hanging from the... down into the glass where Sherlock is looking at them. Now, 1, how did she get them there? 2, why are they there? 3, why? The third thing is, why? Just, why? And also, how did she press the button and it cut the rope? Like, what? The fact that she looks at the camera and the camera, like you can she's looking at the camera. Watson is looking at the screen and she's looking at the camera. Somehow she's actually facing Sherlock. The cliffhanger is completely avoided. Anything they can't explain, they just skim over. So, for example, the bit when we all thought that they shot John Watson, they kind of just went over that and brought in some of a horror thing to scare everyone. And I must admit, I am scared of clowns, so I was just scared. So, to distract us from that, so they put in a horror thing, so then we were scared to begin with, and we completely forgot about last week's cliffhanger that we don't get explained, and we only get explained with one line, which is tranquilizer dart. And the fact when he's in the well, and they chuck down rope, he's still chained. He's gonna try and get up, and his legs chained. He can't get out. And the actual telling Sherlock where John Freeman, where John Watson is, and it's all skimmed over. Like oh yeah, he's in there. Why would you tell him that? You're meant to be the bad guy. Why would you give up so easily? The fact that she was able to escape from the prison twice, and they still put her in the prison at the end of the episode. The character, somehow Mycroft was stupid enough to let her be in there with Moriarty for 5 minutes, which is so stupid. And he somehow was able to record all these things for her that actually make sense in the context. But they were taken out of context. It's physically impossible. She looked at the camera, it turned off. What? That doesn't make any sense at all. And that is the biggest problem, I think. Those things, making her too clever, because Moriarty cannot be beaten, so the only way we can make him beaten is make her have superpowers. I'm surprised she doesn't have telekinesis and she just whacks around some metal, or blows people's brains up, or, well, she has telepathy. She can make people do what she wants. Nobody can do that. You gotta keep to the realism. I know I'm talking about a program that has murders that is solved by a guy that isn't even a detective, but I'm talking about the murders. Series 1 and 2 were somewhat realistic. They were on the brink of being fake, or too fake, but this episode just takes it to the last level of possible stupidity. So they go to, she's now got superpowers, and she's somehow in there for reasons, and her hair isn't blonde, and she looks different, and somehow she was able to get out, and everyone just kind of phased over that, and any problem they encounter, they phase over it. They just go past it and move on to the next problem, or there was no case solving in between either. There was nothing of Sherlock to go to science deduction and stuff, and he could figure out things. It was so dark. The darkness of Redbeard, which was pretty haunting, to be honest, and the Miss Me things, and the I'm Back on the and the lullaby was creepy, and the drone that doesn't also make any sense, because how could she pilot a drone and then stick it in the room, even though it made a really cool CGI'd fake explosion which kind of drew them all back and it just looked cool, but that's not the point. The point was that this episode of Sherlock went too far. It was okay at most. I do this thing with my feet when I literally can't. I'm like this. I was like shaking because I was so excited to see what was happening. I was so anticipating what was going to happen and what might happen, and trying to figure out someone might die because he has to choose one. And the Molly thing is so dubbed in. Like, oh right, it's clearly Molly because, you know, we haven't wanted to see the woman in ages. No, it's Molly. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. That was fused in there. Well, there was no cliffhanger on this episode, so that does predict that some people may think that the episode has now ended and it will never ever come back. Well, that probably won't happen because you've seen the ratings, but there was a moment when I thought she was working with Moriarty, I must admit, and I thought she was like the reincarnated version of Moriarty. That was really stupid, but anyway, we might have to talk about Sherlock for another 2 to 3 years. Oh wait, I have to do a review. Alright. On Thursday, I'm doing a review of Series 1 of Sherlock. Next Thursday, I'm doing a review of Series 2. Thursday after that, I'm doing a review of Series 3. So, thank you guys for watching this. It's been DAJ Studios. Sorry this video dragged on a bit. Goodbye. I could go on for ages about Sherlock. Goodbye.